Hey guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon for the latest update.
The knight is a minor piece. The knight is the only chess piece on the board that can hop over material. The knight also moves very differently than the other chess pieces on the board. It moves in an L shape, either first moving 2 moves in any direction, followed by 1 move side to side, or 1 move in any direction, followed by 2 moves side to side. After the knight moves, it will always end up on a different colored square. This knight on d4 is currently on a dark square. After it moves, it will be on a light square. Let's look at all the moves that this knight here on d4 can make. It can move up 2 squares, here to d6, and then followed by 1 square to either side, forming an L. So it can move here to c6, or it can move here to e6. Remember, 2 moves in one direction, and then 1 move side to side to form an L. It can also go 2 moves one direction here to f4, and then either side of that to form an L. So it can come here to f5, or it can come here to f3. Now it can come down here to d2 and then form an L, so c2 or e2, or thought differently, it can move 1 square here to e4, and then it can move 2 squares to the side of that, to e6 or to e2. And then over here, it can either move 1 square either side to d3 or d5, and then over 2 squares to b5, or if it moved down here to d3, it can swing over to b3 to form the L, or depending on how you like to think about it, it can move over 2 squares to b4, and then 1 move to the side here to b5 or b3. You can see these are all the legal squares that this knight can move to, and they all form an L, and they are all on light squares. In this example, you can see the knight here on d4 is completely surrounded by pawns. But because the knight can hop over material, the knight can still move to all the same squares that it could before. This is one of the main benefits of the knight, being the only piece that can hop over material. In this example, it's white's move, and the white knight can capture 2 of black's pieces. Without knowing exactly how the white knight can move, we know that the knight is going to end up on a different color square than it's currently on. It's on a dark color square, so we know that it's going to end up on a light square. The rook here on b4 and the pawn on e5 are both on dark squares. We know that the knight cannot capture these pieces. Now, the other 2 pieces can be captured. Now let's take a look at how the knight can capture the bishop here on c6, and you can really look at this 2 ways. The knight here can move up 2 squares, and then to the left 1 to make an L, or it can move over 1 square, and then up 2 squares to form the same L. Either way, it's going to capture this material here on c6, and that bishop will be removed from the game. Same thing with the queen. The knight can form an L by moving over 1 square and then down 2 squares, or it can move down 2 squares and then over 1 square. Either way, the queen is going to fall here on e2 and be removed from the game. Both sides start with 2 knights, and the knights are the only piece besides the pawns that can move as your very first move. The rook, bishop, queen, and king all are blocked, and they cannot hop over material. Knights, however, they can hop over material, and they have legal moves that they can do as the very first move in the game. This knight here on g1 can come both to the h3 square as well as the f3 square. It cannot, however, come to the e2 square because it's blocked by its own material. This knight here on b1 can come to the c3 square as well as the a3 square to start the game.
Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I'll whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand.